The screen flickered, my face pale under the harsh glow of the laptop. "We're done," I said, voice cracking, to thousands of strangers watching my live stream. Then the phone rang, his voice, velvet and commanding. Cut through, "You're still mine, Ethan." End stream. My heart stopped. The chat exploded emojis. All caps. Chaos. Ethan Carter, a nobody artist with a modest following, had just announced my breakup with Julian Hayes, the pop superstar whose name lit up billboards. 2 years of love, hidden in shadows, spilled out in a reckless moment. I planned to reclaim my life, to stop being his secret. But Julian's voice, raw and unyielding, shattered that plan in seconds. New York City buzzed outside my tiny Brooklyn apartment. But inside, the air was thick with regret. I'd met Julian at a dive bar open mic. Back when he was just a guy with a guitar and a dream. I was sketching in the corner, lost in my sketchbook, when his voice, soulful, electric, pulled me in. We talked until dawn, sharing cheap beer and big dreams. He was magnetic, all charisma and ambition, with hazel eyes that saw right through me. I was a goner. Our love grew fast, fierce, and private. Julian's career skyrocketed after a viral video. And suddenly, he was the Julian Hayes sold-out tours. Screaming fans. Paparazzi. I was proud but invisible. His friend in public. His everything in stolen moments. We'd dance in his penthouse, laugh over takeout, and whisper promises we thought we'd keep. But fame changed things. His team demanded he stay closeted. Marketability, they said. I was relegated to the sidelines, a secret he couldn't afford to tell. Last month, I'd had enough. The lies, the hiding, the nights alone while he charmed the world. It broke me. I told him I was done, expecting him to fight for us. Instead, he nodded, eyes distant, and said, "Maybe it's for the best." I moved out, rented this cramped apartment, and tried to rebuild. But the pain lingered, sharp as a blade. So, tonight, I went live. My art streams usually drew a few hundred viewers. But I didn't expect this. I planned to sketch, to distract myself. But the words tumbled out. Julian and I are over. I can't be his secret anymore. The chat went wild, some supportive, some vicious. Then his call came through, midstream, his voice like a storm breaking. "You're still mine." End stream. I froze, my finger hovering over the keyboard. The world was watching. I ended the stream, heart pounding. The phone sat silent now, but his words echoed. Was he serious? Or was this another performance? Another way to keep me tethered? I sank onto the couch, staring at the city lights. My sketchbook lay open. Half-finished portraits of Julian staring back, his crooked smile. His intensity. I'd loved him so fiercely it scared me. But love wasn't enough when it meant erasing myself. My phone buzzed, a text from my best friend. "Mia, Ethan. What the hell? Check X. It's a mess." I opened the app, and my stomach dropped. Clips of my stream were everywhere, trending with hashtags like Ethan exposed and Julian Hayes drama. Fans speculated wildly. Is Ethan lying? Julian's not even gay. A few defended me, but the noise was deafening. Then I saw Julian's post, a single black heart emoji. No words. Just that. I tossed the phone aside, anger flaring. He didn't get to do Thisto claim me in private while dodging the truth in public. I'd spent 2 years shrinking myself for him, pretending I didn't mind the secrecy. I deserved more. But doubt crept in. What if he meant it? What if he was ready to fight for us now? The doorbell buzzed, sharp and insistent. I froze. It was past midnight. Who even knew where I lived? My heart raced as I crossed the room, each step heavier than the last. I opened the door, and there he was, Julian, in a hoodie and jeans. No trace of the polished star. His eyes were red, his jaw tight. "We need to talk," he said, voice low. I stepped back, letting him in, though every instinct screamed to shut the door. He stood in my tiny living room, larger than life even in his plain clothes. "Why'd you do it, Ethan?" he asked, his voice breaking. "Why tell the world?" "Because I'm tired of hiding," I snapped. "I'm tired of being your shadow while you shine." He flinched, running a hand through his dark hair. "You think this is easy for me? I'm under a microscope, Ethan. My team, the label feed, lose it if I came out. You know that. Then why call in? Why say I'm still yours?" My voice shook, torn between anger and hope. He stepped closer, close enough that I could smell his cologne, the same one he wore when we first kissed. "Because it's true," he whispered. "I messed up. I let you go. And it's killing me." I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. But trust was a fragile thing, and ours was cracked. "You don't get to say that now," I said, stepping back. "Not after you let me walk away." "I was scared," he admitted, his voice raw. "I thought I could handle losing you, but I can't. Seeing you tonight, hearing you say we're done, it hit me. I don't want a life without you." His words were a punch to the gut. I turned away, staring at the sketchbook on the table. The Julian I'd drawn was fearless. Not this man pleading in my living room. "You can't just show up and fix this," I said. "Not after everything." "I know," he said softly. "But I'm here. I'm trying. Tell me what to do, Ethan." I didn't have an answer. The city hummed outside, oblivious to the storm in my heart. Julian stood there, waiting, and I realized this was only the beginning. Whatever came next, truth, pain, or something else, would change us both forever. The silence stretched, heavy and unbearable. Julian's eyes searched mine, pleading for something I wasn't sure I could give. I turned away, gripping the edge of the couch, my knuckles white. "You don't get it, Julian," I said, my voice low. "You don't get to waltz in here and act like one call fixes 2 years of me feeling like I don't exist." He exhaled sharply, like I'd hit him. "I know I screwed up, Ethan. I know I made you feel invisible. But I'm here now, aren't I?" "For how long?" I shot back, spinning to face him. "Until your manager calls. Until the next tour. You've got the whole world at your feet, Julian. I'm just the guy you hide." His face crumpled, and for a moment, I saw the Julian I'd fallen for, the one who'd sing off-key in my car, who'd laugh until he couldn't breathe. Not the untouchable star. "I never wanted to hide you," he said. "I thought I was protecting us. Protecting you. Protecting me." I laughed, bitter. "From what? Your fans? Your team? Or from you breaking my heart over and over?" He stepped closer, his voice dropping. From losing everything I've worked for. You know what it's like out there, Ethan. The hate, the judgment. I wasn't ready to face it. But I'm ready now. I wanted to scream, to shake him, to make him feel the weight of every lonely night I'd spent waiting for him to choose me. Instead, I sank onto the couch, exhausted. You don't just get to decide you're ready and expect me to fall back into your arms. He knelt in front of me, his hands hovering like he wanted to touch me but didn't dare. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking for a chance to prove I can be better. For you. For us. I looked into his eyes, those hazel depths I drowned in so many times. There was sincerity there, but also fear. Fear of what? I wasn't sure losing me, or losing the life he'd built. My phone buzzed again, pulling me back. Another text from Mia. Paps outside your building. Be careful. My stomach sank. I crossed to the window, peering through the blinds. Sure enough, a van with a news logo was parked across the street. A photographer leaning against it. Camera ready. Great. I muttered. Your world's already crashing into mine. Julian joined me, his shoulder brushing mine. I'm sorry, he said, his voice soft. I didn't think it'd escalate this fast. Didn't think. I turned on him. You called into my stream. Julian. You knew people were watching. What did you expect? I wasn't thinking. He snapped, then softened. I heard you say we were over, and I panicked. I couldn't let you go like that. His honesty disarmed me, but it didn't erase the chaos. So what now? You're here. The world's watching, and I'm stuck in the middle of your mess. He reached for my hand, and I let him take it, though I hated how much I still craved his touch. We figure it out together, he said. No more hiding. No more secrets. I pulled my hand away, shaking my head. It's not that simple. You don't get to undo 2 years of pain with one night of promises. I know, he said, his voice breaking. But I love you, Ethan. I never stopped. Those words hit like a tidal wave. I'd spent months convincing myself he didn't care, that I was just a footnote in his glittering life. But here he was, raw and vulnerable, saying the one thing I'd longed to hear. I didn't know if I could trust it. Before I could respond, my phone lit up with a commie sister. Lila. I answered, bracing myself. Ethan, what's going on? She demanded. Your stream's all over the internet. And now Julian's there. Are you okay? I don't know. I admitted, glancing at Julian. He watched me, his expression unreadable. I'll call you later. I hung up, feeling the walls closing in. The paparazzi outside. The internet exploding. Julian standing in my living room. It was too much. I need air, I said, grabbing my jacket. Stay here. I'm coming with you, Julian said, his tone firm. No, I said, sharper than I meant. I need to think. Alone. He looked like he wanted to argue, but he nodded, stepping back. I'll wait, he said. As long as it takes. I slipped out, the cool night air hitting my face as I stepped onto the street. The photographer spotted me, camera flashing, but I kept walking, head down. Brooklyn's streets were alive, taxis honking, music spilling from bars, but my mind was a storm. Julian's words echoed. I love you. I never stopped. But love wasn't enough when trust was broken. I ended up at a small park, sitting on a bench under a flickering streetlight. My sketchbook was still in my bag, and I pulled it out, flipping to a drawing of Julian from last summer. We'd been at a lake upstate, just the two of us. No cameras, no secrets. He'd looked at me like I was his whole world. Could we get back there? Did I even want to? My phone buzzed a notification from X. A new post from Julian. This time a photo of us from that lake trip. His arm around me. Both of us laughing. The caption read, I was wrong to hide. I'm done with secrets. Ethan, you're my truth. My breath caught. He'd just come out to the world. For me. The park bench was cold beneath me, but my phone burned in my hand. Julian's post stared back at me, a photo of us. Raw and real. Now seen by millions. Ethan, you're my truth. The words felt like a lifeline and a weight all at once. I wanted to run back to him, to fall into the hope of what we could be. But fear held me back. What did this mean for us? For me? I scrolled through X. The reactions pouring in. Some were beautiful fans saying they'd always suspected, wishing us love. Others were cruel, tearing into Julian, into me, into the idea of us. He's just doing it for attention. Ethan's nobody. Why him? I closed the app, my chest tight. This was what I'd wanted, wasn't it? For Julian to choose me openly. But now that he had, the spotlight felt like a cage. I walked back to my apartment, the city's pulse matching my own. The paparazzi were still there. More now. Their cameras relentless. I slipped in through a side entrance, my heart racing. Inside, Julian was pacing, his phone in hand. He looked up, relief flooding his face. You're back, he said, like he'd thought I'd vanish. You posted, I said, holding up my phone. You really did it. He nodded, his expression a mix of defiance and fear. I meant it, Ethan. No more hiding. I don't care what they say. But I do, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. You just turned my life upside down. Julian. I'm not a superstar. I'm just a guy who paints and streams to a few hundred people. Now the whole world's watching me. He crossed the room, stopping just short of me. I know it's a lot. I know I should have asked you first. But I couldn't let you think I didn't care. I had to show you. Show me what? I demanded. That you can make a grand gesture. That doesn't fix the past. Julian. It doesn't erase the nights I spent wondering if I mattered to you. You always mattered, he said, his voice breaking. Every song I wrote, every show I edit was for you, even if I couldn't say it out loud. I turned away, tears stinging my eyes. Then why didn't you fight for me sooner? Why did it take me leaving for you to care? Because I was a coward, he admitted, his voice raw. I thought I could have it all, the fame, the music, you without risking anything. But losing you showed me I was wrong. His words hung between us, heavy with truth. I wanted to believe him, but trust was a wound that hadn't healed. What happens now? I asked. You've come out. But what about your team? Your fans? They'll tear you apart. Let them, he said, his jaw set. I'm done living for them. I want to live for us. I shook my head. overwhelmed. I need time. Julian. This is too much. Too fast. He nodded, his eyes soft. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. The next morning, the world felt different. My phone was flooded with notifications messages from friends, strangers, even my old art professor, all reacting to Julian's post. Mia showed up at my door with coffee and a fierce hug. You okay? She asked, scanning my face. I don't know, I said, letting her in. He's trying, Mia. But I don't know if I can trust him. She sat me down, her voice firm but kind. You don't have to decide today. But I saw that post. Ethan. That's not just a PR move. That's a man fighting for you. I sipped my coffee, staring at the sketchbook on the table. I'd drawn Julian again last night, unable to sleep, his face a mix of hope and fear. Maybe Mia was right. Maybe this was his way of fighting. But could I let him back in? That afternoon, I went to my studio shared space in Williamsburg where I painted. I needed to clear my head, to lose myself in art. But as I set up my canvas, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Julian Hayes cancels tour dates amid coming out controversy. My heart sank. I clicked the article, scanning the details. His label was reviewing options. Fans were divided. The backlash was real. Guilt hit me hard. Had I pushed him into this? I called him, my hands shaking. Julian, I saw the news. Are you okay? His voice was steady but tired. I'm fine, Ethan. It's just noise. I knew this would happen. You canceled shows, I said. That's not just noise. I needed a break, he said. I needed to focus on what matters. On you. I closed my eyes, torn between gratitude and fear. I don't want you to lose everything for me. I'm not, he said. I'm gaining everything. We talked for hours. The first real conversation in months. He told me about the pressure from his team, the fear of losing his career, the relief of finally being honest. I told him about the loneliness, the doubt, the way I'd poured my pain into my art. It wasn't a fix, but it was a start. That night, I painted a vibrant, chaotic piece, all blues and reds, capturing the storm of us. Felt like a release, like I was finally letting go of the anger. When I got home, Julian was there, waiting outside my building, ignoring the paparazzi. Can I see you? He asked, his voice soft. I nodded, letting him in. We didn't talk much, just sat on the couch, the space between us smaller now. His hand found mine, and for the first time in months, I didn't pull away. Days turned into weeks, and the world didn't stop spinning. Julian's post had changed everything: his career, my life, our future. The paparazzi eventually moved on, chasing the next scandal. But the internet never forgot. Every day brought new headlines, new opinions, new battles. Yet, in my tiny apartment, something new was growing: hope. Julian stayed true to his word. He didn't run back to his old life, didn't try to smooth things over with his label. Instead, he showed up for me. He'd bring coffee to my studio, sit quietly while I painted, or walk with me through Brooklyn, ignoring the occasional stare. It wasn't perfect. We argued, rehashed old hurts, but we also laughed, rediscovered the ease we'd lost. He was trying, and so was I. One evening, we sat on my fire escape, the city sprawling below us. The air was crisp, fall settling in. Julian pulled me close, his arm warm around my shoulders. "I'm writing again," he said, his voice soft. "Real stuff, not what the label wants. It's because of you." I looked at him, surprised. "Me? You make me honest," he said, his eyes meeting mine. "You always have." I leaned into him, my heart full. "I'm scared, Julian. This world you're in, it's so big, so loud. What if it swallows us?" "It won't," he said, his voice firm. "We're louder." I smiled, the first real smile in weeks. "You're cheesy. You know that." He laughed, the sound warm and familiar. "Only for you." We started rebuilding, piece by piece. Julian met with his team, laid out his terms. No more hiding, no more lies. Some walked away, but others stayed, believing in the man behind the music. He booked a small venue in Brooklyn, not a stadium, for his next show. "Just me and my guitar," he said, the way it was when we met. I helped him plan it, sketching posters, feeling like part of his world for the first time. The night of the show, I stood backstage, nervous but proud. The crowd was small but devoted, their energy electric. Julian took the stage, his presence commanding yet vulnerable. He dedicated a song to May, a new one, raw and honest, about love and fear and fighting for what matters. When he sang, "You're my truth, my home, my fight," I felt tears prick my eyes. The crowd roared, not just for the music, but for the man who'd chosen to be real. After the show, he pulled me into his arms, the crowd still cheering. "We did this," he whispered. "Together." Life wasn't perfect after that. There were still haters, still doubts, still moments when I wondered if we'd make it. But we faced them together. I kept painting, my art bolder now, infused with the colors of us. Julian kept writing, his music truer than ever. We were no longer a secret, no longer a shadow. One night, months later, we stood on that same fire escape, the city glittering below. Julian took my hand, slipping a simple silver ring onto my finger. "No grand gestures this time," he said, his voice soft. "Just a promise. I'm yours, Ethan. For real." I looked at the ring, then at him, my heart full. "I'm yours too," I said, and meant it. We weren't perfect. We'd hurt each other, lost each other, found each other again. But in that moment, under the New York sky, I knew we'd keep fighting for love, for truth, for us. The world could scream, judge, or cheer. It didn't matter. We'd found our way back, not to the past, but to something new, something real. And that was enough.